seated.
Welcome to Talk Law Radio with attorney Todd Marquardt of the Marquardt Law Firm at marquardtlawfirm.com.
Welcome back to Talk Law Radio. I'm Todd Marquardt here on 9:30 a.m. The Answer. Podcasts everywhere, Facebook, YouTube, and talklawradio.com. If you have questions about the law, that's what we're here to talk about. My mission is to help you discover your legal issue blind spots by listening to me talk about the law on the radio. And today we're just reviewing highlights from 2023, some notable guests, some important legal issues, and I'm giving away a book. If you call in the next 12 minutes, I'll give you this book by Matthew Perry about friends, lovers, and the big terrible thing. All you have to do is give us your name, number, and tell us where you're calling from. You can call 210-308-8867, 210-308-8867. I'm reviewing the last episodes of 2023, but I wanted to give you my top 10 list of New Year's resolutions. Number 1, get your affairs in order. Number 2, decide who you're going to trust to take care of you if you become disabled or incapacitated. Number 3, set up your new business the right way, the legal way, with an attorney. Number 4, decide how you're going to pay for 25 years of retirement without earned income. Number 5, decide how you're going to pay for non-medical home care providers, assisted living, and nursing home care. Number 6, if you've been named agent under power of attorney, executor of a last will, or trustee of a trust, start doing what is necessary to pay bills, organize assets, sell assets, and distribute money to the principal or beneficiaries. Talk to Hector Signs, that's number 7, or another tax preparer, enrolled agent, accountant, or certified public accountant about year-end tax planning. You only have a couple of days left. There might be something that you can do today, right now, that will affect your tax liability on April 15th, 2024. Hector Signs and Liberty Tax sponsors the show, and talked to him twice this year about income taxes, and so you can search for those episodes and find his phone number and call him that way. Just let him know that you heard about him on Talk Law Radio or 9:30 a.m. The Answer. Number 8 of our top 10 New Year's resolutions for Talk Law Radio is, before you give away your assets, talk to an attorney who focuses on estate tax, gift tax, and qualifying for government benefits like Medicaid or the veteran's pension with aid and attendance. Number 9, if you're a business owner, C-suite executive, or officer of a company, talk to an attorney who focuses on business and estate law to find out how to reduce your liability or protect your assets. And number 10, if you own an LLC, limited partnership, corporation, or any entity set up by filing with the state, talk to an attorney about registering with the Financial Crimes Enforcement Network to comply with the Corporate Transparency Act. After January 1st, every single entity in the nation, unless they're exempt, will have to file something. So let me talk about where to find that episode, because that's an important one. I talked about Corporate Transparency Act on December 16th, 2023. You have an obligation, if you have a business, to find out if you have to file something with Corporate Transparency Act. Well, it's with the Financial Crimes Enforcement Network so that you can prove to the government that you're not trafficking money, that you're not a money launderer, and that you're not a terrorist organization. Let's talk about all the times I talked about estate planning. Talked about succession and exit planning with Jim Urban. That was also under the business section. So those are important concepts where business and estate law kind of overlap. And so that's why I can help with succession and exit planning as well. I talked with Joseph Warren about money, banks, and Social Security. I consider those to be estate planning topics. So you can go to my YouTube channel, the Talk Law Radio YouTube channel, and search for Joseph Warren. He's a financial planner here in San Antonio. He's been a sponsor of the show in the past, and he's a lot of fun to talk to. I also talked to Joseph Warren about how to leave a legendary legacy on July 15th, 2023. That's a great episode. I'd highly encourage you to look that one up, July 15th, 2023. On September 30th, 2023, I talked with Carlos Garcia about life insurance, and that was a really fun episode. Carlos Garcia has an amazing life story. You'll have to listen to it to find out. It's just amazing. It was another moving episode of a life well lived for me. Then on October 1st, I talked about irrevocable life insurance trusts. I did that one by myself. I didn't have a guest. It kind of a dry topic to talk about. But if you're wondering whether you need an irrevocable life insurance trust for your estate plan, I suggest you listen to that episode. If you have any other questions about topics that I haven't yet addressed, email me at host@talklawradio.com. That's HOST@talklawradio.com. I'm always interested in finding out what laws are confusing or frustrating for you, because ignorance of the law is no excuse. And so I'm here to help you discover your hidden legal issue blind spots by listening to me talk about the law on the radio. I want to give a disclaimer, since I've been talking about the law a lot. I'm licensed to practice law here in Texas and New Mexico, and the State Bar of Texas is the state agency that governs my attorney law license. The State Bar wants attorneys to inform the public about the law, but because legal advice must be tailored to the specific circumstances of each case, and because laws are ever changing, material discussed in this program is meant for general informational purposes only and is not to be construed as tax, legal, or investment advice. Although the information has been gathered from sources believed to be reliable, please note that individual situations can vary. Therefore, the information you hear today should be relied upon only when coordinated with individual professional advice. I've been talking about the highlights of 2023, talked a lot about constitutional law, the freedom of speech, the freedom of religion, talked about the Second Amendment, the right to keep and bear arms, talked about abortion law, the case that overturned Roe versus Wade, and talked about how the federal government was suppressing speech through social media, which is a bad thing. And I talked a lot about business law, talked about how to make better business decisions, talked about the Corporate Transparency Act, which is a new duty that all of us are going to have unless we're exempt. So you have to find out from an attorney if you're exempt or not. The penalty is $500 a day, up to $10,000 in fines, or 2 years in jail. So you want to avoid that if you can. And I'm looking for pastors to talk with me about the law and gospel. All I need is a willing pastor who wants to talk about probably something he's already talked about at church that has some legal component to it, that somehow touches state law or federal law and is discussed in the Bible. And it's a lot of fun for me to do those law and gospel episodes. I'm not going to be talking about saints and sinners today. I'm not going to be talking about legacy, but my business partner, Daniel Palmer, let me know that kids can safely celebrate the new year down at the Museum. And this is December 31st from 10 in the morning to 1 p.m. in the afternoon as they count down to the noon year with food, face painting activities, and a magical moon drop. Tickets are $25 for adults and children. You search that on the internet if you think you want to go. I want to remind you that fireworks in San Antonio are illegal, and you can tell on your neighbor if you call 210-207-0202. Some things that I want to remind you of that are highlights from this year are your constitutional rights. It's a big part of this show to help you protect and preserve your freedom and liberty. And the Declaration of Independence was all about protection of life, liberty, and pursuit of happiness. Did you know that the pursuit of happiness provision was originally property? So it was originally protection of life, liberty, and property. But I forget who changed it. They wanted to change it to pursuit of happiness. So that to me says that the pursuit of owning your own home or owning your own property is sort of like the pursuit of happiness. Not to get all materialistic on you, I just think it's fun to do. So here's to another year of Talk Law Radio 2024. I already have guests lined up, already have a whole list of topics that I want to research and discuss with you. But you're always welcome to email me with your ideas. Just email host@talklawradio.com. That's HOST@talklawradio.com. And you can do me a favor. My New Year's wish is for you to subscribe to my YouTube channel. Even if you don't watch YouTube on a regular basis, it'll help me because the people at YouTube won't let me stream live unless I have 1,000 subscribers. Thanks, I'm Todd Marquardt. I'll talk to you later.
This has been Talk Law Radio with attorney Todd Marquardt, brought to you by the Marquardt Law Firm. You can learn more at marquardtlawfirm.com. And be sure to listen to the full Talk Law Radio show Saturday mornings at 11 on 9:30 a.m. The Answer.
Each week, attorney Todd Marquardt talks about the law. His mission with the Talk Law Radio show and podcast is to help you discover your legal issue blind spots. In the beginning, God had one law. Don't eat from the fruit of that tree. Then came the 10 Commandments. Now we have federal, state, and municipal lawmakers that won't stop creating new laws. Laws that might impact you without you knowing it. Listen to the show and drop a line on Facebook or email host@talklawradio.com and let the host know what you think of the show, the topics you want to hear, and whether you want to be a guest.